Hey everyone, RT Custer from Vortic Watch Company here. Today we're talking about how to use a railroad pocket watch. So a quick background and differentiation between a railroad pocket watch and just a standard antique American pocket watch is that the railroad pocket watches, instead of being able to pull the crown out to set the time, you actually had to take the whole bezel off and pull a lever in order to set the time. And I've made other videos about the history of why that is and all that. Long story short, it was a safety mechanism so that you didn't actually pull the crown out as you're pulling this out of your vest pocket if you're a conductor and engineer on the railroads. But let's get into it. So all of these antique American pocket watches feature a movement inside similar to this. It's the movement, the dial, and the hands. When I say movement, it's all the gears and springs you can see through the back, or on most of these pocket watches that was a closed back, but that's what's inside. And then you have the dial, the hands, and this lever. So that's the lever we're talking about, and that lever has to be pulled out in order to change the time on the watch and pushed back in order for you to wind the watch. So if you have a pocket watch and the crown isn't coming out and it's winding, but you can't set or change the time, it's most likely a railroad pocket watch, especially if it was made by a company like Ball, Santa Fe, Elgin, Waltham, Hamilton. We call them the Great American Watch Companies. So to set the time, you take the front bezel off. Sometimes it's on there pretty tight, so grab it like that, rotate it, and the bezel will come off like that. Now, once you have the bezel off, the crystal also comes off, so you can touch the dial in the hands. I recommend not doing that. Try your best not to touch the dial in the hands, and just grab that lever right there. When I have the lever out, now I can change the time, make sure it's set, and push that lever back in. Don't forget to push the lever back in. You won't be able to get the bezel back on if that lever is not back in. And once the lever is back in, now I can wind the watch and get that ticking. You can see the second hand down there going. So that's how to set and wind an antique American railroad pocket watch. Let me show you why that is important and why we're talking about that here at Vortic Watch Company. Here at Vortic, we make what we call the Railroad Edition. So this is an antique American pocket watch made in the early 1900s, manufactured and converted into a wristwatch. So we've made all of these titanium components to now protect that piece of American history for another 100 years, but now as a wristwatch. And this works the exact same way. You wind the watch with the crown, and you set the watch by removing our Vortic Watch Company bezel. And this bezel, you can tell it sounds different as it comes off. It's a modern mechanism. It's got an embedded O-ring in there where you can see as I turn this bezel down, it's going to tighten around the watch and keep the watch water resistant. But everything else inside, just like we do, is original. So that's the original antique dial, hands, and lever. And now when I pull that lever out, I can change the time. This one's very special. It also has an up-down indicator. And I also made some other videos about that if you want to check those out. So thanks for checking out how to set and wind and how to use a railroad pocket watch as well as a railroad edition by Vortic. I'm RT Custer here at Vortic Watch Company in Colorado. And check out our other videos about the antique American pocket watch companies if you want to learn more.